I like skulls. I like scary skulls. I like beautiful skulls. I like animal skulls. I like skulls that have been painted. I like skulls that have been carved or adorned in some kind of a way. I love rendering of skulls. I love skulls that have been artistically manipulated, and I like skulls in their natural state. I also like fibers. So when I combine the two, I often get something interesting, and this time I have created fingerless gloves with tapestry skull look. Now in this case, you can see I used a multicolored yarn, but of course you can use whatever color you want. I happen to use the different color yarns so that you can kind of get a feel for how the different color yarns might play against a darker background. However, again, if you are interested in following this tutorial, you're going to create these gloves and the colorway of your skulls any way you please. Let me give a warm welcome to all my Weaving Weird siblings. For those who aren't in the know, my name is Sig. I'm a retired tattoo artist turned active fiber artist and crocheter. And here on my channel, you and I get to create a little magic with every knot. So don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons. This doesn't cost you anything, but it does help me to provide you with weekly tutorials featuring original designs, classic patterns, and lacy motifs. I'm always interested in your feedback, so feel free to leave your comments and questions below. So because this video really is quite lengthy, I'm going to get right into the material list of what you're going to need. Now, firstly, you're going to need approximately 35 grams of your colorway A. For me, I chose a fingering weight sock yarn in black. And a fingering weight sock yarn is what you want to use for this design and pattern. Just a heads up. Next, in my color B, I use this multicolored fingering weight sock yarn once again. And this came in a 20-gram mini skein, and I used approximately 11 grams for the pair of these gloves. Also, you're going to want to use a small tapestry needle, a pair of scissors, of course, a 5.5 or 3.25 millimeter hook. Now, if you haven't already noticed, this work is done in tapestry style. And with the smaller weight yarn, you get really a fabric that is very much about the thickness of a knitted fabric. It's a little thicker than a knitted fabric, but it's very close. It wears like a knitted fabric too. So it's not bulky, and it can be worn either to keep your hands warm, to keep your wrists warmed, or just purely for decorative or stylish purposes. Now, to preface the video a little bit, it is a bit long, and that's not necessarily because there's crazy stitches in this design, because there really isn't. You have a couple of times where you do double crochets, but mostly it's single crochets. What gets a little fiddly is just your color changes to create the pattern. And so I try to walk you through that. I give you the written instructions, and I also walk you through for those who are more visual learners. So I try to incorporate the best of both worlds. Now, going forward into the video, there are a couple of things you'll want to note. I am making the video based off of medium-sized gloves. Now, before we get started into the actual tutorial part of the video, I will put up instructions on how to convert your gloves into either a size large or a size small, depending on your personal needs and preferences. So all you have to do is just follow the steps I give you in those conversion chart, and you're going to be fine. Also, In the video, I walk you through the first glove, which will be the left hand glove, and then I will give you some additional instructions for the right hand glove towards the latter part of this video. I really did enjoy putting this design together. It's a long one. It took a lot of time to make, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it myself. So without any further blathering, let's just go ahead and get started. The medium-sized glove is going to measure approximately 9 inches and was worked with 46 to 47 stitches per round. Note, you may alter the size of your glove by adding or subtracting stitches from your count at both the beginning and end of your rounds, with the size medium count being your baseline. All additional or subtracted stitches will be made in color A only. The small glove will measure approximately 8 inches and is worked in 40 to 41 stitch rounds. For the right glove, you will need to subtract 2 stitches at the beginning of your round and 4 stitches at the end of your round. For the left glove, you will need to subtract 4 stitches from the beginning of your round and 2 stitches from the end of your round. For the right thumb, after you've completed round 19, you will join with a slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, work the next 24 stitches, chain 7, skip 6, then continue normally. With your left thumb, after you've completed round 19 with a join, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, single crochet 8, chain 7, skip 6, then continue as normal. For the large glove, you're going to find that it's going to measure about 10 inches, and as you work it, it will be worked within 52 and 53 stitch rounds. For the right and left glove both, you will need to add 3 stitches at the beginning of your round and 3 stitches at the end of your round. For the right thumb, after you've completed round 19, you will join with a slip stitch. Then you'll chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, work the next 30 stitches as usual, chain 12, skip 11, then continue normally. On the left thumb, after you've completed round 19 with a join, you will chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. Then you're going to single crochet 10, chain 12, then skip 11, and then continue your work as normal. So I'm going to begin the medium-sized left-hand glove. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 46. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have 46 chains. And for those of you who are following these instructions, but they're making a small size or a large size, if you need to, just refer back to the basic conversion instructions in the earlier part of this video. But from here on in, I'm just basically focusing on the medium size. And as mentioned before, it's a simple conversion. It's very easy. And so just refer to that just to help save time with regards to redundancy. So now that I have my 46 chains, what I want to do is I want to make a ring. And so I'm going to make sure that my chains are straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch or join my ends together. So I'm going to join into that very first chain. Next, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. And then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch after that until I have completed all 46 stitches, and then I will join with a slip stitch. And that'll be the completion of round 1. Now, once I've completed my first round of 46 stitches in color A, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to join with a slip stitch. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. And then for round two, I'm simply going to single crochet until I've completed a single crochet in each stitch, giving me a total of 46 stitches. So now that I've completed my 46 stitches, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join into that first single crochet of round two with a slip stitch. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. Now this time I want to have a total of 29 stitches to begin with, because this is the round where we're going to start the color work. So I want a total of 29 stitches in color A. So this means I need to make 28 more stitches of single crochets. So I've got 1 and 2, 3, 28, and 29. Now, because I'm making a color change here, I'm not going to complete the last step of my single crochet in color A. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my color B, and this is where I'm going to add that in. So for those of you who don't know how to change your colors, when changing your colors, you want to put the new color in at the last step of the previous stitch. Now that I'm going to start my color work, or as I begin my color work, I want to pull my color A over because I want to work over that, as well as working over the tail of my color B. So we can start working that in so we don't have to worry about weaving it. And so that it's just simply worked into the fabric of our piece so we don't have any long strands hanging loose on the inside of our work or the back of this piece either. So now I'm going to single crochet 7 in my color B. We get the 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now this is where I'm going to make my color change back to A. So I'm just going to move this thread out of the way, this yarn. And I'm going to pick up my color A. And I'm going to set myself up for the next stitch by pulling color A and finishing off that last single crochet in color B. So, and you can see everything's already woven in. So we don't have any loose yarn. And this yarn will get woven in as well. And I'll show you how to do that when we get back around again for our 4th row. But we're still working on row 3, or round 3 rather. So next for round 3, I'm going to single crochet 10 in color A. 1, 2, and 10. That brings us back around. I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of round 3. I'm going to go ahead and make a chain, and then I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. That gives me my very first single crochet for round 4. Now for round 4, I want a total of 28 stitches before I start my color work. So this means I have 27 more single crochets to make in color A. So a total of 28. I've got 1 and 2, 3, and 28. So of course, because this is where I'm going to change my color to color B, I'm not going to complete that single crochet with color A, but I am going to take my color B and I'm going to bring it all the way over loosely. So I'm not going to pull it tight because I want a little bit of play in there, but I do not want to make it too loose. So I just lay my color A over in this direction, and I'll just loosely lay my color B back over the top, coming back towards my hook. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull through a loop of color B, and I'm going to begin that. So what I want to do for color B then is I want to actually single crochet 9 single crochets with color B. So working over my loose yarns, I'm going to have my first one, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're now going to have something that looks like this. And I'm going to drop my color B, and I'm going to pick up my color A, and I'm going to draw that through before I begin my next stitches of color A. And that will be 9 stitches or 9 single crochets of color A to complete round 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So then next, as just before, I'm going to do this with every round. I'm going to join that first single crochet of the round, and then I'm going to make that slip stitch for the join. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to single crochet in the same stitch. And that will be my first single crochet of this next round. So this is going to be round 5. And for round 5, I want to single crochet 27 total in my color A. 27. Oops. Sorry about that. So then again, I'm going to start the next round of color work. I'm going to tie in my color B, tighten up color A just a smidge, lay color A over the coming stitches so I can work right over it so I don't have to try and weave anything in later or have unsightly kinds of long pieces of yarn hanging in the back of my work. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single crochet 11 in my color B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. You can see how everything's woven in the back. And I'm just going to drop my color B. I'm going to pick up my color A. I'm going to complete that 11th single crochet there. And now I'm going to single crochet 8 of the color A to finish up round 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to join with a slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. And this begins round 6, the first single crochet of round 6 for me. Now round 6 is going to be exactly the same as round 5. So I just repeat round 5. So now that I've completed round 6, which was the same as round 5, I should have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and join with a slip stitch. Make my chain and then do my single crochet in that same stitch. And next I'm going to begin round 7. So for round 7, I've already made my chain and single crochet in that first stitch, but I want to single crochet a total of 26 in color A, 26 single crochets. 2, 3. So now that I've got my 26, I'm going to go ahead and change to color B. And then next I want to make a single crochet with color B. And I'm going to change back to color A. And I'm going to do a single crochet for color A. And I'm going to change back over to color B. And make a single crochet for color B. I'm going to switch back over to color A. And then I'm going to make a single crochet with color A. Next, I'm going to switch back over to color B. And for color B, I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. I'm going to switch back over to A for a single crochet. And then I'm going to switch back over to B, and I'm going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. And then next, back to color A, and I'm going to do a single crochet. And then to color B, I'm going to do a single crochet. Then I'll switch back over to color A for a single crochet. And then I'm going to switch back over to B one more time for this round for a single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet 7 with color A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of this round. I'm going to chain 1 single crochet in the same stitch, and that'll be my first single crochet for round 8. Now for round 8, I'm going to want a total of 25 single crochets in color A, so I'm going to single crochet 24 more times. So once I've completed my 25 single crochets, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change colors, change to color B. And then again, I'm going to make a single crochet with color B. And then I'm going to switch over to color A. And I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to switch to color B. I'm going to make 1 single crochet and then switch to color A. And I'm going to make 1 single crochet with color A and then switch back to color B. And this time I'm going to make 2 single crochets with color B. So 1 and then 2. I'm going to switch back to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And then I'm coming to switch back to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 2. Next, I'm going to switch back to color A. I'm going to single crochet 1. And I'm going to switch over to color B. And then single crochet 1. Next, I'm going to switch back to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 2. So 1 and 2. And then finally, I'm going to switch over to color B. And I'm going to make 1 single crochet. I'm going to switch back to color A. And I'm going to finish this round off with 6 more single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet of this round, round 8. And then I'm going to make a chain and I'm going to begin round 9 with my single crochet in that same stitch. For round 9, we want to have 25 single crochets, so I need to single crochet 24 more times. So once I've got my 25 single crochets, I'm going to switch over to color B. And then I'm going to single crochet. Next, I'm going to switch over to color A, and then I'm going to single crochet 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to switch over to color B, and I'm going to make a single crochet. Then I'm going to switch back over to color A, and I'm going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and single crochet in that same stitch. And then for round 10, I'm going to again single crochet 24 more times. So next I'm going to switch over to color B, and I'm going to make a single crochet. I'm going to switch back to color A, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets. And I'm going to switch to color B for a single crochet. I'm going to switch back to color A, and I'm going to make a single crochet. And then I'll switch back to color B. And I'll make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Switch back to color A. And I'll make a single crochet. I'll switch back to color B. Make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. And then I'm going to switch back to color A. And I'm going to make a single crochet. And I'll switch to color B. And then I'll make another single crochet. So then I'm going to go ahead with my color A that I just switched to, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. And then I'm going to switch over to my color B one more time. And I'm going to make another single crochet. And then next, I'm switch back over to color A, and I'm going to single crochet 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So far you should have something that looks similar to this. So next, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch my joint. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to make or rather place my first single crochet into that same stitch. So for round 11, I'm pretty much going to repeat what I did for round 10. Now for round 12, I'm going to begin with my single chain and a single crochet in the same stitch. And then this time, I want to have a total of 28 single crochets, so I'm going to single crochet in color A 27 more times. So now that I've completed my 28 single crochets, I'm going to switch over to color B. And for color B, I'm going to single crochet 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Next, I'm going to switch over to color A. And I'm going to finish up round 12 with 9 single crochets. And 9. Again, I'm going to slip stitch that first single crochet. And I'm going to begin round 13. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to place my first single crochet into that same stitch. Now for round 13, I want to single crochet 24. So I've got my first, I'll single crochet 23 more times. That's 1, 2. I've single crocheted my 24. I'm going to switch over to my color B. Then I'm going to single crochet 2. So 1, and then 2. And I'm going to switch to my color A. And I'm going to make a single crochet. And I'm going to switch back over to my color B. Now for my color B, I want to single crochet 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Next, I'm going to switch back over to color A. And I'm going to make a single crochet. And I'm going to switch back over to color B. And I'm going to make 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to single crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to join. Now for round 14, I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet in that same stitch. Then I'm going to single crochet 23. Or actually a total of 23. So I have 2, 3. So now that I have my 23 single crochets, I'm going to switch over to color B. And then for color B, I'm going to single crochet 4. And 4. And then I'm going to switch back over to A. And I'm going to make a single crochet. And I'm going to switch over to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. Next, I'm going to switch back over to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And I'm going to switch over to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 1. Oops, try that again. All right. And next, I'm going to switch back over to A. And I am going to make a single crochet. Then I'm going to switch back over to B. And I'm going to make 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Next, I'm going to switch back over to A. And I'm going to make a single crochet. And then I'm going to switch back over to B. And I'm going to make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to finish this round off with 4 single crochets in color A. Okay, next, I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to place my first single crochet for round 15. Now for round 15, because I want a total of 22 single crochets in this A color, and I've already got my first one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single crochet 21 more. And now I've completed my total of 22 single crochets in color A. I'm going to switch over to color B. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then switch over to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. And switch back over to B. And I'm going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to switch over to A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And I'm going to switch over to B. And I'm going to single crochet 1. I'm going to switch back over to A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. Next, I'm going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to switch to color A. And then with color A, I'm going to also single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to switch over to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. And then I'm going to finish this round off with color A. And I'm going to single crochet that 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to slip stitch. I join. And I'm going to chain and then single crochet in that same stitch, which will set me up for round 16. So for round 16, we're going to want 22 again, also in color A. And I have my first one, and then my second single crochet, and then 3. Next, after I've single crocheted 22, to begin my round 16, I'm going to change colors to B, and then I'm going to single crochet 2. So 1 and then 2. And I'm going to switch to color A. And then I'm going to single crochet 1. And then switch back to color B. And then I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. Next, we're going to go back to color A and single crochet 2. And 2. I'm going to switch to B. And then single crochet 1. And going to switch back to A. And I'm going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Then with color B, I'm going to single crochet 1, switch back to A, and then with A, single crochet 2. Next, I'm going to switch back to B. I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to switch back to A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And then switch to B. And I'm going to single crochet 2. 1 and 2. And then next, I'm going to switch back to A. And I'm going to finish off round 16 with 3 more single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch my join, and I'm going to start working into round 17 where I make a chain and then my first single crochet in that same stitch. So next, I'm going to single crochet 21 more single crochets. So that'll give me a total of 22 single crochets in color A. I have 1, 2, 3, and 22. Next, I'm going to switch to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 3. So that'll be 1, 2, and 3. And then back to color A. And I'm also going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Switch back to color B. And I'm also going to single crochet 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Next, I'm going to switch to color A. Or again, I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now color B. And I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. Switch back to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then with color B, I'm going to single crochet 3 more times. 1, 2, and then 3. And switch back to A. And then complete round 17 with 3 more single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Going to slip stitch. And then for round 18, I'm going to begin that with a chain and then a single crochet in the same stitch. Now again for 18, I want to have 22 single crochets in color A before we begin our color work. So I have my first single crochet and then 2, 3, 4, and 22. Next, we're going to switch over to color B. For color B, we want to single crochet 2 times. 1 and 2. And then I want to switch back over to color A. And then single crochet 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And switch back over to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 2 times. So 1 and then 2. Switch back over to color A. And I'm going to single crochet once. And then color B. I'm going to single crochet twice. So 1 and then 2. And then back over to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then with color B, I'm going to single crochet 2 times. So 1 and then 2. And then 3 more times with color A. 3 more single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then make my join with a slip stitch. And I'm going to begin row 19 with my chain, and then of course 8 single crochet. So your piece should be looking like this so far. Now for round 19, we want to do 23 single crochets in color A before starting our color B work. So I've got my first 1, 2, 3, and 23. Go ahead and tie in my color B. And I'm going to make a single crochet. And I'm going to bring in my color A. And then with color A, I'm going to single crochet 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then color A, or sorry, rather color B. And then with color B, I want to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to switch back over to color A. And then I'm going to single crochet 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then next I'm going to switch over to color B. I'm going to single crochet 1 and then switch back over to color A to finish out my round with 4 single crochets. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then of course a slip stitch to join. And we're ready to move on to round 20. So now for round 20, this is where we're going to begin the thumb hole. So I'm going to make my chain, and then I'm going to single crochet in that first or that same stitch. So that's my first single crochet, and then I want to single crochet 9 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Next, I want to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I want to skip 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then in that 10th stitch over, I'm going to single crochet. So now I have the opening of my thumb. So now I want to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to switch over to color B. And for color B, I'm going to single crochet 1, and switch back over to color A. Careful, things get tangled very easily. And then for color A, I'm going to single crochet 7. So 1, 2, 3, and 7. Next, I'm going to single crochet 3 with color B. So 1, 2, and 3. Switch back over to color A. And that'll be 1. And then I want 7 more single crochets with A. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And I'm going to switch back over to color B. Color B, I'm going to single crochet and switch back over to color A and finish up round 20 with 4 single crochets in color A. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And slip stitch my join. So for round 21, I'm going to go ahead and chain 1 and then single crochet in that same stitch. And I'm going to single crochet 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Next, going to single crochet in each chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to single crochet 3 in the next 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so next I'm going to switch over to my color B. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And then switch over to A. And then single crochet 1. Switch back over to B. And then single crochet 1 again. Next, I'm going to switch back over to A. And I'm going to single crochet 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Next, I'm going to switch over to A or B. Switch over to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And then I'm going to switch back to color A and single crochet 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then switch back to B. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And then A for 1. And then B again for 1. And then I'm going to single crochet 3 in A. So 1, 2, and 3. Again, going to join with a slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch. And now we're going to begin round 22. So for round 22, we want to have 23 single crochets before we begin our color work with color B. And so I've already got my first single crochet. And so 2 and 23. And then I'm going to switch over to color B. And I'm going to single crochet 2 times. And then I'm going to switch back to color A. And single crochet 1. and then back to B and single crochet B one time. Next, with color A, I want to single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to switch back over to B. And with B, I want to single crochet 2. So 1 and 2. And then I'm going to switch over to A. And with A, I want to single crochet once. And then back to B. And I want to single crochet B 2 times. So 1 and 2. Next, with color A, I'm going to single crochet 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to switch over to B. And I'm going to single crochet once. And then back over to A. Single crochet once with that. And then to B. And with B, we're going to single crochet twice, 2 times. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to switch back to A. And with A, I'm going to single crochet 3 times to finish up round 22. So 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch to join. I'm going to chain 1, single crochet in that first stitch, and I'm going to begin round 23. Next, for round 23, I want to go ahead and single crochet 22. So I have my first one already. 2, 3, single crocheted 22. I'm going to switch over to color B. Now for color B, I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and there's my third. And switch to A. I'm going to single crochet 1. I'm going to switch back over to B. And I'm going to single crochet 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. I'm going to switch back over to A for 1 single crochet, and then back to B for 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to switch over to A again. And then I'm going to single crochet 2 to finish off round 23. And then I'm going to slip stitch my join, chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch, and I've completed my first stitch for round 24. For round 24, we also want to have 22 single crochet stitches in color A. And since I already have the first stitch, I'm going to go ahead and single crochet 21 more times. And 22. Now I'm going to start color work. I'm going to bring in my color B. And I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. Next, I'm going to bring in my color A and make a single crochet. And I'm going to bring back in my B. And I'm going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Next, I'm going to bring in my color A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And I'm going to bring back in color B and single crochet 1. And then color A to single crochet 1. And now I brought back in color B. And I'm going to single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to bring in color A. And I'm going to single crochet 1. And then bring in color B. So I can single crochet 3. 1, 2, and 3. Next, I'm going to bring in my color A. And I'm going to single crochet 2 and then join. 1 and 2. And join with a slip stitch. And get ready to start round 25, which I will begin with my chain and then a single crochet in that same stitch. And for 25, I also want a total of 22 single crochets in my color A. So that leaves me with 21 more single crochets to make. And now that I've made my 22 single crochets, I'm going to switch over to my color B. And for color B, I'm going to single crochet 2. Maybe it looks like that one stitch is pretty tight. There we go. Oops. So we got 1 and 2. And then I'm going to single crochet once with color A. And then I'm going to come back to color B. And then with color B, I'm going to single crochet 4 times. And I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to switch back to color A. And with color A, I'm going to single crochet 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And then with color B, I'm going to single crochet 3 times. And I have 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to switch back to color A. Again, I'm going to single crochet 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Well, I'm going to switch to color B. Then I'm going to single crochet in color B 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Switch back to color A. For which I'm going to single crochet once. And then with color B, I'm going to single crochet 2 times. 1 and 2. Now I'm going to bring back in my color A. And I'm going to single crochet 2 times. 1 and 2. I'm going to slip stitch my join. And that's the completion of round 25. And I'm going to begin round 26 with a chain and then a single crochet in that same stitch. Now for round 26, I also want 22 single crochets before I start my color work. So I've got my first one already done. And I'm going to single crochet 21 more times. So now that I got my 22 single crochets, I'm going to switch over to my color B. Start the color work of my skull. Next, I'm going to bring in my color B, and I'm going to single crochet 2. So 1 and 2. Use color A to single crochet 1. And then bring back in color B. Next, with color B, I am going to single crochet 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And I'm going to bring in color A and make a single crochet. And then I'm going to bring back in color B and single crochet twice. Once and then twice. Then I'm going to bring back color A, single crochet 2 more times. 1 and 2, and then join. And that completes round 26. And do a chain 1 and a single crochet in that same stitch. And that will be our first single crochet for round 27. Now for round 27, we also want to begin with 22 total stitches or single crochets in color A, where we start our color work. And once you get your 22 stitches in, I'm going to switch over to color B. And for color B, I'm going to do 23 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Now we've completed the 23 across the skull. Then to switch back over to color A. And going to finish round 27 with 2 more single crochets. And then a join with a slip stitch, of course. Chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch. And then now we begin with our very first crochet stitch for round 28. So now for rounds 28, 29, and 30, we're simply going to repeat round 27. And so when I've completed those 3 rounds, I'll meet you right back here for round 31. Now I've just completed round 30, so I'm moving on to round 31. And for round 31, I want to single crochet 23 in color A. So 1. Now that I've ready to change to color B after I've single crocheted 23 in color A, I am now going to single crochet color B 21 times. 1, 2. So now I want to switch over to my color A. And I want to single crochet 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to join with a slip stitch. That completes round 31 for me. And then for round 32, I'm going to repeat. I'm going to do exactly what I did for round 31. I'm going to meet you right back now here. For round 33, I've just begun with my chain after my join. And I'm going to want to go ahead and single crochet 24 single crochets in color A. 1. And I'm going to switch over to my color B. And I'm going to single crochet 19. 2. And once I have my 19 crocheted, I'm going to switch over to color A. And I'm going to single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to slip stitch my join. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to move on to round 34. And for round 34, I want to single crochet 25 of my color A before moving on to my last row of color work. So again, same stitch. My first single crochet, 1, 2. So again, 3. Now that I've completed my 25 single crochets, I'm going to do my last row of color work. I'm going to bring in my color B. And I'm going to single crochet 17. 1, 2, and 17. Next, I'm going to bring in my color A. And I'm going to single crochet 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to chain 1. Now next I'm going to go ahead, because I'm done with my color work, and go ahead, I'm going to cut off a tail, and this I'm going to weave here in just a little bit, but I can just let that hang for now. I've completed round 34. I'm now on round 35. I have my chain stitch. And then I'm going to make my first single crochet in that same stitch. And then I'm going to continue on to single crochet 46 more single crochets. So by the time I've completed round 35, I will have single crocheted 47 stitches. And then from there, we're going to move on to the trim. So now that we've completed round 35, we're going to move on to round 36. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. Now this round 36 is going to be the last round that we do for the opening of the fingers. I mean, we still have the cuff to do and the thumb to do, but Right now we're going to finish up the finger opening. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to skip the next single crochet, the next stitch, and I'm going to place 5 double crochets in the stitch after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to skip the next stitch. I'm going to single crochet in the stitch after that. And then I'm going to skip a stitch and I'm going to place 5 double crochets into the next stitch. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, I'm going to skip the next stitch. I'm going to single crochet in the stitch after that. And then I'm going to skip a stitch and the stitch after that. I am going to make 5 double crochets into that same stitch. Continue this pattern all the way around until I've completed the entire round, and then that's where I'm going to slip stitch into my last stitch. So you might be off by 1 or 2 stitches as you work this around, depending on the size of your fingerless glove. And then it just kind of depends on how your stitches land, so don't worry too much about it. I often use this basic shell stitch kind of edging because it is so forgiving when you possibly may be off a stitch or two for a variety of reasons. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. You're going to go ahead and finish yours, and I will meet you right back here when I have finished. Okay, so now we have basic scalloped edge. I'm going to move to the thumb. So now just an FYI, so in the right hand glove, you're going to want to start in the corner of the thumb facing in the right hand direction. For the left hand glove, which we're starting off here, you're going to also want to start in that right hand direction corner. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to begin by tying into that single crochet, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in that same stitch, and then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around the thumb opening until I've come back around to where I made my first single crochet. Okay, so now I'm back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single crochet into that first thumb. So it's or that first single crochet of the thumb. So it's going to be kind of like, we're not going to be working in a spiral. Now we're going to be working in rows. So I've single crocheted in that first single crochet, and then I'm going to single crochet in each of the single crochets just along the bottom of the opening of the thumb. And then I'm going to, once I've completed a single crochet in each of the openings, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch in the next stitch. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, and then I'm going to make another pass just along the bottom opening of the thumb. I'm going to single crochet in each one of those stitches along the bottom. And once I've completed that, in the very next stitch, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work. And I'm going to do the same exact thing for 2 more rows. So a row coming towards the left, and then when I turn my work, I'm going to do another row coming back. So we're going to do that 2 more rows, and then when that's finished, I'll show you your next step. Okay, so now that I've completed all 4 rows, and I've made my last slip stitch with my chain and my turning, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip the next stitch, and I'm going to place 5 double crochets into the stitch after that. Two, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to skip a stitch and single crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to skip a stitch and single crochet, or rather place 5 double crochets in the stitch after that. Skip a stitch, make a single crochet in the next stitch, and then skip a stitch and place 5 double crochets in the stitch after that. And skip a stitch. And I'm going to make a single crochet, and then what I'm going to do here, because I don't have any more room, I'm just simply going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch and fasten off. And then I'm going to weave my end in, and that will be the end or the finish of my thumb. So you can see, it's just a nice little lacy trim there on the bottom. Okay. So after I take care of this end, we're going to go finish up the glove with the cuff, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a moment. So to begin with the basic cuff of this piece, I'm going to come here to my seam. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tie in. I'm going to make a single chain, and then I'm going to place a single crochet in that same stitch. And then I'm going to single crochet each stitch around the entire bottom of the cuff. So now once you've made a single crochet all the way around the bottom edge of your glove, you can go ahead. I'm going to slip stitch the join. You're going to go ahead and chain 3. And that chain right there is going to act as your first double crochet. Then you're going to go ahead and double crochet into the next stitch. And then chain 1. Skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the stitch after that, and then chain 1. Skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and double crochet into the stitch after that, chain 1, and then skip a stitch. And then of course double crochet into the stitch after that, and another double crochet into the stitch after that. So you can kind of see the basic pattern that we're doing here. And you can do that all the way around. And depending on what your count is, you may or may not be off by a stitch. Just work it like normal. And if, for example, you have 2 stitches instead of just the 1 stitch to skip, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either chain 2 and then slip stitch when you're finished, or you can simply chain 1 and just put 1 more double crochet into that last stitch before slip stitching. This is really going to be very basic one way or the other. It's not going to make a difference in your piece. And then I'll show you what to do next. So I'll meet you right back here when we've completed this round. Now when you're ready to join, you're going to go ahead and slip stitch into that third chain, chain 1, and then make a single crochet into that same stitch. And from here, we're going to start with the final round. And for this round, I'm going to do a 5 shell as we did before, except there's going to be a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to double crochet, and then I'm going to skip 2 stitches. And in the third one over, that's where I'm going to make 5 double crochets into that stitch. And then I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and I'm going to place a single crochet. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and I'm going to place my 5 double crochets into that next stitch. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and then I'm going to make a single crochet. I'm going to continue just like that. So before we only skip the 1 stitch, like here on the top of the finger edge and then the thumb edge, because I wanted a little more flare to the shell edging. But here at the wrist part, I want it to pull in ever so slightly in terms of being the cuff. I don't want the cuff on this piece to flare. So we're skipping 2 stitches. So skip 2 stitches, and then place your 5 double crochets into the stitch after that, and continue that all the way around. And when you've finished, go ahead and fasten off. Weave in your end, and I'll discuss what happens next. So now you have your gloves that look like this. So for your right hand glove, here in the next several images, I'm going to give you the instructions. So just go ahead and screenshot those as you please and follow those directions so you can make your right hand glove. It's not a mirror image necessarily of your left hand glove, because remember, the thumbs have been tailored to fit. So it's not as simple as just doing a basic round cuff and throwing a thumb in and then just flipping it over because you have the image on the one side of your glove. So that makes this a little bit more elevated in terms of skill and time that you need to put into these. But I think you agree that it's completely and totally worth it. So until I see you in the next video, you have a fantastic weekend, and thank you for joining us here at Weaving Weird Studio. Bye-bye now.